I'm delighted to be opening Environmental Protection Scotland's Clean Air Day 2020 webinar. Under normal circumstances, of course, there'd be events the length and breadth of Scotland to mark Clean Air Day. And I've had the pleasure of attending some of these events in previous years in Edinburgh and Glasgow. But like so much else in our daily lives this year, we're having to do things very differently. Environmental Protection Scotland has put in a huge amount of work to ensure that Clean Air Day can still take place in these difficult circumstances, and I want to offer my thanks for this effort. The air that we breathe is fundamental to human life and the quality of our environment. The quality of our lives is placed at both short and longer term risk by poor air quality, and this has been brought into sharp perspective by the COVID-19 pandemic, because emerging evidence does suggest a possible association between air pollution and both exacerbated symptoms and mortality levels attributed to COVID-19. It is, of course, still too early to draw any firm conclusions as this area of research is continuing to evolve, but will need to be watched. The pandemic has changed the way we work, socialise and, of course, travel. These unprecedented changes in living and working patterns are likely to have had and will continue to have a significant impact on air pollution. In the short term, at the height of lockdown, we saw big decreases in pollution levels in many urban areas. Whilst these circumstances do not make it a cause for celebration, it does show how quickly air quality can improve. We must learn lessons from this experience to deliver similar air quality improvements over the longer term in a sustainable and viable way, particularly given that pollution levels have started to rise again as lockdown measures have been eased. Despite the undoubted improvements in air quality over recent years, it is clear that continued and systemic action will be required to ensure we are addressing known and emerging risks. Scotland is generally performing well by UK, European and global comparison, with both ambient concentrations and mass emissions of the main air pollutants largely continuing to fall as a result of actions taken to date, both nationally and internationally. More remains to be done, though, not least as we better understand the impacts of air pollution on human health and the natural environment. It's therefore timely that we are preparing to launch a public consultation on our proposals for a new air quality strategy to build on the legacy of Cleaner Air for Scotland. I launched the independently led review of Cleaner Air for Scotland in November 2018, and the purpose of this was twofold. Firstly, to assess progress to date in implementing the actions contained in the strategy, and secondly, to identify priorities for additional actions to deliver further air quality improvements. The review, which was led admirably by Professor Campbell-Gemmell, produced a comprehensive list of recommendations to build on achievements to date. It is these recommendations that form the basis of our proposals. To maximise the benefits from action to tackle poor air quality, it is essential that we build on the linkages with other key policies. Since Cleaner Air for Scotland was published in 2015, we have introduced some of the most ambitious legislation in the world to end Scotland's contribution to climate change by 2045, published our environment strategy, which emphasises the fundamental role our natural environment plays in supporting a fairer, healthier, more inclusive society, updated our national transport strategy, and of course taken major steps to reform Scotland's planning system. And all of this is necessary if we are to secure our vision of Scotland having the best air quality in Europe, air quality that aims to protect and enhance health, well-being and of course the environment. Although there is still much to do, it is important that we do recognise our very real achievements to date. Although air pollution hotspots remain in some of our cities and towns, data from our Scotland-wide air quality monitoring network shows a sustained year-on-year improvement across the country. This is in no small part due to the sustained efforts of many organisations and individuals in both the public and private sectors. It serves to underline one of the key Clean Air Day messages, which is that we can all help to improve air quality in our neighbourhoods. Even small changes to our everyday behaviour can have a big impact locally, and Clean Air Day is an important focus for showing the various actions that we can take. I'm sure that this year's events will be a tremendous success under challenging circumstances. Together, we can make a difference.